What's up everyone, Willie Apple here, and today Apple has released iOS 16.0.2 to everyone, and it is a major update that everyone should update to right away. So I have it installed here on my sister's iPhone 12 right here, and we have a bunch of things to talk about today. If you have an iPhone 14 Pro or Pro Max, there has been a bug fix with third-party camera apps where camera may just shake a lot for some reason. So it would just shake for like this. For no reason at all, you would not even be shaking your phone. And people thought there was a bug with their phone themselves, but it was actually just a software issue with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. We also have a little fix with copying and pasting. So if I were to copy something right here and paste it into another app right here, you will see that we now have the ability to paste without getting a prompt. So before, it would just show a prompt every single time. I actually thought that was a security feature, but in fact it was not, and I actually had that since June when beta testing iOS 16 on my iPhone 13 right here. Now there is an issue that I had when setting up this phone for my sister. It was that the screen would appear completely black when setting it up. So it is also in iOS 15 since this phone was set up during iOS 15 stages, and the screen would just appear completely black. You had to force reboot it and do that, and then figure out where this slider was, and it would just be completely black and you just need to figure out where it was, and which is really annoying. I actually thought it was a problem with this phone, but it was not. Now there's also another bug fix. If we were to go down to accessibility and then voiceover right here, this has now been completely fixed right here. So before, voiceover would not work. I actually tried it before in the beta stages of iOS 16, but ended up giving up. Glad to see this is fixed, and I'll probably try using the feature again after I make this video. Now if you have an iPhone 10, 10R, or 11 that had the screen replaced, and upon updating to iOS 16, you may notice that the screen would be completely buggy and not receive that good touch input. And that has now been fixed inside of iOS 16.0.2. Apple does say that there are security updates, but there actually aren't. If we were to go into here, it would say right here if there were security updates, but in fact there aren't any security updates. Apple puts it in here so just to make sure that things are consistent between Apple's software releases, and we did not get any security updates if you're wondering about that. This may also be a good update to update to if you're worried about battery life right here. Now I'm going to run a quick Geekbench test to see how well iOS 16.0.2 is compared to iOS 16. Alright, in iOS 16.0.2 we got a 1582 on the single core and a 4020 on the multi-core. Now let's compare that to iOS 16, 1575 and 4064. That indicates that this is a minor update to performance, and performance should not improve here. In iOS 16, it should remain exactly the same. Now, should you update to 16.08.2? And I say yes, especially if you have an iPhone 14 or 14 Pro Max. You would definitely want a fix for the camera issue. And if you're planning on resetting your phone, you'll definitely want this bug fix right here. And apparently this was annoying to some people, and you might want this to be fixed as well. If you have an iPhone 10, 10R, 11, you'll want this fixed. And it's just a really good update to update to as soon as you can. So be sure to update. Now what is next for Apple? I say the next beta of iOS 16.1 and macOS Ventura are next. That should release on either the 26th or the 27th right here. I'm gonna bet my money on the 27th right here. Now for the next public release of iOS 16, I would expect that somewhere between the 17th and the 19th. Most likely the 17th, because I'm thinking that we're going to get an Apple event right here on the 11th. And they're going to release some new Macs and new iPads, and finally release macOS Ventura and the long-awaited iPadOS as well. That's all I have to say about iOS 16.08.2. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!